Good afternoon to all of you. So today we are going to discuss basics about hashing in data structure. So before going to start with the hashing, we have to understand three basic topics like the basic definition of hashing and what is the purpose of using hash function, and third one is the hash table. So first I will going to introduce these three in detail. Then after that I will discuss various types of hashing functions that are used. So hashing is basically the process of mapping large amount of data item to a smaller table with the help of hashing function. And hashing is also known as hashing algorithm or message digest function, and it is also used in cryptography. It is a technique to convert a range of key values into a range of indices of an array. It is used to facilitate the next level searching method when compared with the linear or binary search. It allows us to update and retrieve any data entry in a constant time, that is big O of 1. And the constant time means the operation does not depend on the size of data. Hashing is used with a database to enable items to be retrieved more quickly. And it is also used in encryption and decryption of digital signature. So this is the basics of hashing. And the second one is the hash function. Hash function is basically a fixed process, converts a key to a hash key, and this is known as hash function. Later I will explain it with the help of an example. What is the basic use of hash function to convert a given key and to map it into the indices into the memory. Hash function takes a key and maps it into the value of a certain length, which is called a hash value. Hash value represents the original string of characters, but it is normally smaller than the original one. It transfers the digital signature, and then both hash value and signature are sent to the receiver. And the third one related to hash is hash table. Hash table is basically a data structure used to store key value pairs. I'm sharing and with an example. It is a collection of items stored to make it easy to find them later. It uses a hash function to compute an index into an array of buckets. It is an array of list where each list is known as buckets. It contains value based on the key. Hash table is used to implement the map interface and extends dictionary class. Hash table is synchronized and contains only unique table. So let's take an example. So in the given picture, you are seeing the hash table, and the table is of size 10, and we denote the table size by n. Suppose n equal to 10. So since indices starts from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there are size of table is 10. Each position of hash table is called as slot. What does it mean? This is one slot, this is second slot, this is third slot, and so on. So initially all the slots are empty. So suppose in the above hash table, there are n slots, here n equal to 10, and these are the following values that we called as these are basically the indices of the hash table, denoted by 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And 0 means slot 0, 1 means slot 1, 2 means slot 2, 3 means slot 3, 4 means slot 4, so on, 9 means slot 9. And suppose the mapping between an item and the slot where item belongs in the hash table is called the hash function. So let's take an example. Yeah. Suppose we have an integer item 26, 70, 18, 31, 54, and 93. So one common method of determining a hash key is the division method of hashing, and the formula is the hash key is determined using the key value modulo. This is basically the modulo operator that will return the remainder, number of slots in the table. So what does it mean and how will we represent these value into the memory slots? So just take the data item one by one. So the first data item is 26. So the hash key is determined by this formula, key value modulo number of slots in the table. So for 26, the key value is the 26 that is given, and the number of slots in the table is 10. Since we are taking n equal to 10 previously, so the hash key determined 26 modulo 10. And what does it return? It returns the remainder. So when you take the 26 modulo 10, the remainder is 6. So the value returned is 6. So here we are taking the hash value as 6. Now the second data item is 70. Again, you have to calculate the hash key by using this formula. Key value modulo number of slots in the table. Here key value is 70 and modulo number of slots is 10. So 70 modulo 10. Here the answer is 0 since there is no remainder. So we write 0 here. Now the third item is 18. So again 18 modulo number of slots. The number of slots is 10. So the value that we are getting is 8. Now the next element is 31. Again 31 modulo number of slots. The number of slots are 10. So 31 modulo 10, that will return 1. Next element is 54. So 54 modulo 10, that will return the value 4. The last element is 93. Again 93 modulo number of slots, that is 10, and the result is 3. So let's look at the picture. In the right hand side, we are writing the hash value that is obtained after using the formula, the key value modulo the number of slots. So these are the hash value 608143. Now initially we have been given the empty table. Initially there are no values and we are just writing the indices from 0 to 9. So these are the indices that we are getting in the form of hash value, and here we have to put the data item. So hash value 6 means at the 6th index we have to place the data item, and that value is 26. Again hash value 0 means at the 0th index the data item that is to be inserted here, and at the 0th value the data item is 70. So 70 is to be inserted at 0th place. Okay. Now again the third hash value is that we are getting is 8. It means at the 8th index, that is at this place, we are inserting the value of data item as 18. So at 8th indices we are inserting the data value 18. Again hash value 1 means at the 1th index, first index, that is 1, we are inserting the data item of value 31. So 31 is the value, we are placing it here. Again 4 means at the 4th index, it means at this place we have to insert 54. So at 4th indices we are inserting 54. Again at last at the 3rd indices we have to insert 93. So this is 3rd indices and we are inserting the value, and the value is 19. So by this way we are inserting the values into the given hash table. Now at present there are 4 slots that are empty, 1, 2, 3, 4. So they are utilized after putting some other values. So if there are other values that arrive, then we are using these empty slots. So after computing the hash values, we can insert each item into the hash table at the designated position that is shown in this particular figure, and I have already explained how to insert these particular data item at the various indices by using the formula, that is hash value is given by key value modulo number of items, data items, or the number of sizes. So there is another term that is generally used, and we call that term as load factor, and it is denoted by the symbol lambda, and it is given by the number of items divided by table size. So here this is our given table, and after inserting the given data item, this is the current situation of our table. So how many number of items are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So at present, there are 6 data items in the given hash table. So the number of items value is 6. Now again, divided by table size. So initially we are taking table size n equal to 10. So we are just placing the value 6 by 10. So this is basically the load factor for this given hash table. So lambda value is 0.6. So this is the basic example of how to insert various keys into the hash table by using the hash function. Now next, I am taking the various types of hashing functions that are used in hashing. The first type of hashing is called as direct hashing. So in this type of hashing, there is no algorithmic manipulation that are used, and in this algorithm there are lesser chances of collision. So later I will explain the meaning of collision in next class. So in this type of hashing, there is lesser possibility of collision, and it is not suitable for large key values. So with the help of an example, I am explaining this, that is the direct hashing. So let's take an example. So what we are initially doing, we have been given a key. We are using the hash function, that is hk, and it will return the indices or addresses that we have to store in the hash table. This is the basic logic of hashing. You have been given a key value, you are applying the hash function, and after applying the hash function, the given key value is converted and it is stored in the particular address. So this is direct hashing. Suppose the given key value is 101 and you have been applying using a given hash function. The value of the hash function is given. So after calculating the hash function, suppose this value returns out to be 2. And suppose the second key is 102, and after applying some given hash function, it returns the value 3. So what does it mean? It means in the memory slot or in the hash table, let us consider, suppose this is the hash table, and in the right hand side the indices are given like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 means this given value after calculating is to be stored at second place. That means it is stored at this one place. And here the value is 3, it means it is stored at third place. It means it is to be inserted here. So this is basically the direct hashing. The second type of hashing is modulo division hashing. In this type of hashing, a modulo operator is used and the hash key is calculated by using the function hk. Hk is basically the hash function that is calculated using the formula k modulo n. So let's take an example to see again. So here n is basically the list size and k is the key that is given. Now suppose we have given these key values, that is 101, 102, 103, 201 and 204. Now we have to calculate the hash function of these key values by using the formula k mod n. So we are placing the value h101 means we are applying the hash function at the key value 101. It means 101 modulo 10. What does it return? It returns the remainder part. So the value returns to be 1. Next 102. So applying the hash function h of 102 is 102 mod 10. So the value return is 2. Again 103. So applying the hash function, what does it return? It returns 103 modulo 10. So the value return is 3. And for 204 modulo 10, the value returned is 4. Now the left key is 201. So if you are calculating the hash function of this key, so it also returns value 1 because 201 modulo 10 is 1. So what you will see we are getting two 1 values. One is here and one is after calculating this key values. So what does happen? There is a collision at key value 101 and 201 since they are placing at the same indices. So modulo division hashing causes the collision, but if you want to avoid the collision, then you have to use the list size as a prime number. So if you are using the list size as a prime number, here we are using the list size 10 is not a prime number, but if you are using a prime number, then there are lesser chances of collision in comparison to the any other values. So this is the second type of hashing technique. The third type is mid-square hashing. So mid-square hashing means the key is squared and the address is selected from the middle of the square number. So let's take with an example. Suppose we have given the key 9452. So we have to calculate the value k square. So k square 9452 whole square, it returns 893,403,04. So you have to find the middle of the square. So initially our key size 4. So you have to find the middle number of size 4. So total number of integers, or in other words, if you are calculating the total length of this integer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So the total length is 8. So the middle, to find the middle 4 digit is 3403, since we are discarding leftmost 2 digit and rightmost 2 digit. So by this way we are getting the hash function as 3403. Since in middle square hashing, key is squared and the address is selected from the middle of the square number. So the middle of the square is 3403. So the hash function will return the value 3403. So this is the third type of hashing. Now after this class, I am sharing my PDF with you so that you can check, and if there is any confusion, then you will be able to understand. Now the fourth one type of hashing is called as folding hashing. So in folding hashing, there are two variations. The first one is fold shift hashing and the second one is fold boundary hashing. So what is the difference between these two? Let's take with an example. So first see what is fold shift hashing. In this type of hashing, the key value is divided into parts whose size matches the size of required address. So what does it mean? You have been given a key size and you have been given a key value and the size of required address, and you have to map that key value to that required address. But how you will do this? So let's take an example again. Suppose the key value given is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is the key value that is given and the size is 3, that is also given. So what you have to do, you have to divide this key into the number of sizes. So the number of size is 3 and here the total length of key is 9. It means you are able to divide it into 3 parts. So the first part is 1, 2, 3, second part is 4, 5, 6 and the third part is 7, 8, 9. So after dividing it into 3 parts on the basis of the size, what you have to do next, you have to add all these 3 numbers, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, 8, 9. You have to add up these 3. So after adding these 3 numbers, what you are getting? You are getting 1368. The values that you are getting after adding these 3 numbers is 1368. But since the size is 3, so you have to discard the leftmost digit. So the leftmost digit is 1. So just calculate by yourself. After adding these 3 numbers, it is not written in this PDF. After adding these 3 numbers, the result is 1368. So the leftmost digit is 1. So we have to discard this leftmost digit because the key size is 3. So the remaining value is 368, and this is our result after calculating using the hash function using fold shift hashing. Again, I'm explaining it. You have been given a key and size. You have been given a key and the size of the database where it is to be stored. So what you have to do, you have to split or divide the key on the basis of the size. So here the size is 3 and the key value is of length 9. So split it into 3 parts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, 8, 9. After that, you have to add these 3 keys, and after adding, since it will return 1368, so we have to discard the leftmost value since the key size is 3. So the result that we are getting is 368. So HK equal to 368 means after applying the hash function using fold shift hashing, the result we are getting is 368. So this is the fold shift hashing. Now the second variation is fold boundary hashing. So in fold boundary hashing, the left and right numbers are folded on a fixed boundary between them. So what it means, suppose you have been given a key value. Again, I am taking the same example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, 8, 9. So in this, the left and right means, so since this the size, address size is 3, I am taking the same example. So what you have to do, you have to fold the left and right numbers. So this is the middle one. The left is 1, 2, 3 and right is 7, 8, 9. Why? Because the size given is 3. So what you have to do, you have to fold the left and right. So if we are folding the left value, 1, 2, 3 becomes 3, 2, 1. And if we are folding the right value, 7, 8, 9 becomes 9, 8 and 7. So these are the 3 key values that are returning after this. The first one is 3, 2, 1. Second one is as it is 4, 5, 6. And the last one is 7, 8, 9. 7, 8, 9, and after folding it becomes 9, 8, 7. So after adding these 3, 3, 2, 1, 4, 5, 6 and 9, 8, 7, the result we are getting is 1764. But since the key size is 3, so we are discarding the leftmost digit. Here the leftmost digit is 1. So after discarding this, the result we are getting is 764. So the hash key result is 764. So after applying the hash key function using fold boundary hashing, the result we are getting is 764. So these are the basics of hashing and the various types of hashing that are used. Now there are some more variations in hashing. Now let's take a look at those also. The remaining two are pseudo-random hashing and subtraction hashing. So first take a look at pseudo-random hashing. This hashing technique is basically used for collision resolution, and in the next class I'm explaining you the collision avoidance algorithm, and you will see what is the meaning of collision and what will happen if a collision occurs, then how to resolve that collision. So this is basically the collision resolution technique named as pseudo-random hashing. And here what we have to do, first we have to calculate the value gamma equal to ax plus c. Here a is the selected coefficient, x is the key value, and c is some random constant that is selected by us. So the hash function is given by gamma modulo of n. Here n is the list size. So first we have to calculate the gamma value. So what does this gamma value return? It basically returns a random number. So suppose you have to calculate ax plus c, and suppose you are selecting the coefficient value as 1 to 1 to 6, 7. Randomly you have to select any value, and the given key is 17 suppose, and suppose we are selecting the constant value as 7. You can take any value. I am just taking an example, and suppose after placing these value in this formula gamma equal to ax plus c, so if you multiply 1 to 1 to 6, 7 into 17, it results into 2061546. This whole result comes out to be 2061546. So calculate by yourself, you will see this will be the result. So to calculate via hash function, gamma value is 2061546, and mod n means n is the list size. Here the list size is given. So by using this formula, you will calculate the given hash function by using the pseudo random hashing. This hashing technique is basically used to avoid the collision. The last one is subtraction hashing. Here we have to subtract a fixed number from a given key, and the hash function is calculated using hk equal to k minus c. Here k is the key value and c is the fixed number that is subtracted from the key value. So let's take an example. Suppose you have to store the database of 100 employees that are working in a particular organization, and suppose the database of every employee contains a unique number, and the unique number starts from the first employee, varies to the second employee, varies to the third employee till 100th of employee. Suppose the first employee carries a unique number as 1001 and the last employee will carry the number 1100. All these numbers are in consecutive order, and suppose you are going to extract the employee number 1 by using this subtraction hashing. So what you have to do, you have to apply the hash function that is given by key minus the fixed number. So here the key value of first employee is 1001, and since we are already in our knowledge that there are total 100 employees and their database starts after 1000 value. So what we have to do, we have to only subtract the 1000 from the key value. So if we are subtracting 1001 minus 1000, that will return 1. It means it contains the employee number 1. It contains the data employee number 1. So by this way, subtraction hashing is used in a particular situation. So these are the basics and types of hashing that are generally used. I have explained direct hashing, modulo division hashing, mid-square hashing, then folding hashing, pseudo-random hashing, and subtraction hashing. I am taking example of all of types and explaining you with the help of that example. So that's all about the introduction of the hashing, and tomorrow we will study the open addressing scheme in hashing, and let's take an example and algorithm that what will happen in case of a collision. So now let's look at a problem that I have taken for you that is based on the hashing that we have studied till now. So this is the given problem. Given the following input values 4322, 1334, 1471, 9679, 1989, 6171, 6173, 4199, and the hash function has x modulo 10, which of the following statements are true? What does it mean? It means you have been given the input, means you have been given the keys and you have given the hash function. Hash function means the hk value that we have studied. Hk is given by x mod 10. Okay, so you have to tell which of the following statements are correct on the basis of these values, and the statements are 9679, 1989, 419 hash to the same value. Second one is 1471, 6171 hash. There is some mistake in this. This is basically the hash, HSH, hash to the same value. All elements hash to the same value. Third statement is, and the fourth statement is each element hashes to a different value. So we have to check it using our basics understanding that we have studied till now. Now again I am looking at the given problem. So hash function is given by x modulo 10. So x modulo 10 means 10 is basically the size. Here size is given, the 10 is the size and x is the key value. So you have to calculate by using the hash function one by one. So what you have to do, you have to calculate for key 4322. So the hash function is hk equal to 4322 modulo 10. So what does it return? It returns the value 2. Again, calculate for 1334, it returns the value 4. Calculate for 1471 modulo 10, it returns the value 1. Calculate for 9679 modulo 10, it returns the value 9. 1989 modulo 10, it returns the value 9. 6171 modulo 10, it returns the value 1. 6173 modulo 10, it returns the value 3. 4199 modulo 10, it returns the value 9. So these are the value that we are returning. So after calculating all these values, you have to check at all the statements and check whether they are true or not. So let's look at the statement 967919894199 has to the same value. So if you are calculating using the key modulo 10, so all these three keys will return the hash function value as 9, because after modulo 10 all will return the value 9. So it seems that this statement is correct. Again, 14716171 has to the same value, so both will return the value 1. So it seems to be correct. So at present, statement 1 and 2 seems to be correct. So let's check at third statement. All elements has to the same value. This is incorrect because all hash values comes out to be different. We are calculating this. The fourth one is each statement hashes to a different value. No, since some hash values are same, like for 96791989, both values are 9. So this is also false. So statement 1 and 2 are correct only. So the given options are A, B, C, and D. So option C is only correct on the basis of the given choices that we will consider. Now let's look at what we are doing. We have been given the hash function hx equal to x modulo 10. I am calling it hk because previously we are calculating hk equal to, here x becomes k, but here it is given as x. So the hash function is hx equal to x modulo 10. Calculating for 9679, it returns 9. Again for 1989, it returns 9. For 41999, it returns 9. For 1471, it returns 1. For 6171, it returns 1. Now looking at our calculation, we can see that these three values 9679, 1989 and 4199 has to the same value, that is 9, and 1471 and 6171 has to the same value 1. So the statement 1 and 2 are correct, which match with the option C that I am telling you previously, that option C is correct. So this is the basic example that is based on the approaches that we have studied in today's lecture. So that's all about the introduction of the hashing and various types of hashing techniques.